It's part 3 to this morning's concert. Lovely show. Time and date stamp. This is the Universal Postal Union time and date stamp. Certified, verified, connected to a sworn affidavit known as the Master Key Peace Warrant. This is the agent. Tuesday, 14:49, 57 seconds. The year 2024. 8th month. Day 13. Now let's go. Shall go backstage. Usually a lot of private stuff happens backstage. Yes, backstage. There's the front side, there's the back side. Well, let's see here. How many minutes are left on the battery? There's only 45%, so it's going to be a short backstage session. Going to be short, probably 20 minutes, that's all. So it's 14:50 right now, so 15:10. Have to remember that. 15:10. Might want to repeat that over and over, have a repetition over and over and over. Like NESARA, the National Exchange Securities Recovery Act, where the farmers won a legal court case to get the fucking land back, and it was supposed to be returned. And Clinton was, all the papers were signed, and President Clinton was supposed to implement it, and he didn't. But remember, there are those in the military that knows that he did not. All right. And there are many across the nations, because this is a nationwide thing, because everyone trades the U.S. dollar. This is all international. Everything goes in, and all the states are united. Every nation state is the United States. Every nation state. So this is a worldwide event. And those that don't know what NESARA is, well, hi, Sarah and Abraham from the Bible book. Those that don't know what NESARA is, or necessity, what legal necessity is, anyone can go on YouTube and type in NESARA, NESARA, and start studying. Start studying, figuring out what's going on with the nation and the rules. The rules to the nation. The rules. Remember, rules aren't a bad thing, but when rules are used and forced upon someone, and if they don't do what the force is, then they get punished. Well, that's obviously that's not equality. That's flat out bully stuck in the mud on abuse. That's an unconscious child. That's unconsciousness, pure straight up. But, it's just evidence to consider. It's just evidence to consider. Not saying that it is, not to put any force upon it, not to be the same bully unconscious child. There is other universal energies to absorb besides just the unconscious child energy, although it is there to absorb too. But to stay a child stuck in the mud with a child, and to stay a child abusively, and then hoping to keep it that way forever with religious stories to convince all the rest of the universal living organisms that this is the only and greatest story that there is, which is actually a spin-off on an older ancient story that's got more relevance to self-independence and cures and solutions. But, point blank, there are a lot of living organisms that have never heard the audit. The audit. I'm talking the audit. It's not just a audit, it is the audit. Although it has the capacity to be an audit or a audit. But the evidence is, there's so much evidence in the column with the private investigation that it's virtually can be called the audit. The audit means it is the audit that audits every fucking audit that there is. Bringing in common sense. Bringing in common sense. Yeah, bringing in common sense. And composting. And composting too. Well, what's composting? Well, that's relaxation. That's relaxation. But it's hard to relax when one is unconscious. Usually everything is run in a human traffic fashion, which is nut to butt, military nut to butt. Which gets into rage and get the fuck out of my way. It's all nut to butt. That's what human trafficking is. That includes dicks going in asses in many different ways. Don't matter what the age is. Dick going in asses. Dicks. That's an old king's word for sheriff. A dick. Go study the Black's Law Dictionary. They used to be called exchequers. They used to be called earls. Today they're called sheriffs or dicks. It's the same thing. They used to be called dicks. You know, like Dick Tracy, the private investigating television show. Dick Tracy. What's he tracing out? He's looking for tracks. Why? Because he wants to see where's the fucking root of everything coming from. He wants to track it down. He wants to trace it down. Wants to draw it out. He wants to get to the fucking bottom of what the fuck's really going on around here. All right? Dick. A dick in the ass. What's an ass? Well, it's also an animal. Ass is the first syllable to asphalt, which is street, where there's a whole lot of human trafficking going on. Traffic. Okay? You know, all that stuff. It isn't just how some child has been taught in modern public school what words are. Because and every generation gets twisted and more perverted and something different added to it and called something else. And, you know, and the child is underwater much more than the previous generation. Under lockdown, told what to do. It isn't just one-way interpretation of things. It's my way or the highway, or else I'm going to hurt you if you don't follow my way, my rule book. All right? So that's all NESARA is. It's just a rule book. Nothing wrong with rule books. Rules are the same thing as suggestions. And advice, to give someone advice is to give them a rule. That's wonderful. It's wonderful to hear other people's stories. That's the most wonderful thing that the universe is. That's what makes the fucking universe so fucking wonderful. Because everyone has a story to share. God. But when one wants to shove someone's story like a dick down someone's fucking throat, and if they don't fucking swallow it, then they're going to get hurt. You know, who the fuck likes to live like that? That should be a no-brainer common senser. Although there might be a few around that just love to be fucking raped and beaten all the fucking time. Just fucking beaten and raped, told what to do. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh my God, that feels so good. Could you please fuck me again? Oh man, here, just smack me upside, break my fucking arm again. Oh, that feels so fucking good. I'm so God. I mean, shit. What one could probably guarantee and almost say, there ain't no fucking living organism in a fucking universe that likes living that way. But you always got to keep the gate open and say, there could be. Could be, and what if there is? That loves to be kicked around, smacked around all the time and just obey, 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 obey. Never know, there could be. Especially if one's been brainwashed to think that that's normal. Especially if one's been brainwashed to think that that's normal, tricked into it, or is in a state of fear that one can't get out of the state of fear. So he's convinced himself that, yes, I like this. I like this environment that's called freedom. I like it. I really like it. And they don't even realize it ain't nothing but a fucking boxing fucking room. And Bubba's in the fucking ring. And he ain't got fucking boxing gloves on. He's got a fucking club. A fucking billy club. And he's boxing with his fucking billy club. Just fucking beating the fuck out of the fucking other guy in the fucking boxing ring. And everybody watches the boxing match and says, oh, isn't this great? Let me place my bets. This is so wonderful. Two people, one dominating, just beating the shit out of someone else. And the winner is always the bully. The winner is, and the new title holder. Isn't this great? He just beat the fuck out of that guy. And then the guy who got his ass beat, the commentator comes to him. He says, well, how was the fight? And he says, God, I loved it. I lost, but God, I loved it. God, I loved it. Yeah, right. What he's really saying is this is all what he really wants to say and he can't say is this is the only stupid ass jacked up fucking way that I can give enough money to feel fucking comfortable to buy a fucking house and have wife and kids. This is the only fucking way I know. I don't really fucking like this. I just do it for the fucking money. Do it to have a fucking house. That's called being under duress. Under someone's fucking pressure thumb. That ain't a child's self-choice. That ain't a child's self-choice. No child would no child, no. It just seems like common sense. Ain't no child enjoy being fucking beaten up fucking all the time under fucking force. No fucking way. So anyway, getting back to NESARA. It's just a rule book. Nothing wrong with rules. Let that one be repeated through the town talk over and over and over. Rules are fucking wonderful because it ain't no different than mother or father's or friends or a neighbor or a fucking sister or a brother or a horse or an animal's advice and suggestion. Or at heart, it's just a story shared. Well, you might not want to cross the street like a chicken to get to the other side, because out of fucking nowhere is going to be coming a human trafficker at high speed from behind a bush, and it won't even be seen. Well, that can be seen as advice. All right, thanks for the advice. Thanks for the story. Wonderful. Now it's up to the one who heard the story and the advice and the suggestion. Well, I wonder if I'm going to cross the street or not. I think I need to know what's on the other side of the fucking fence instead of, what someone else shared with me. I think I need to know. I'm curious. And curious minds, inquiring minds always love to scope things out. Yes. But if there's a fucking guy with a fucking axe sitting there saying, you dare scope this out, the king told me it's off with your fucking head. Don't you dare scope that out. You ain't allowed to look into the treasury. You ain't allowed to audit all the military cabinets and bases. You ain't allowed to go on fucking private property that the bully who runs the federal government says it belongs to him. You ain't allowed. Right? And if you don't follow my rule, I am going to punish you. Huh? Yeah. You ain't allowed to invent new stuff so that cars don't have to run on gasoline no more. You ain't allowed to bring in new inventions to make life easier. You ain't allowed. Because if you don't follow our rule, we told you can't do that. No, we don't have free energy around here. No. This is all controlled. That's our rule. Everything has to be on a meter and control. This is how we keep order in society. If there wasn't order kept in society, everything would be in chaos, and you'd all be at civil war with each other. Oh yeah, nice excuse, you lying ass, trick and manipulative, thieving little actor. This little actor guy, good You got everything down to make it sound so fucking just right, that so it's the only sense in the world, right? Well, that's what a snake oil salesman is. He can sell someone a fucking broke car, and they'll like it. And they'll like it. He'll put tone in it that they'll like it too. Because what's behind all that? Don't you bring that fucking broke car fucking back here either. Actually, for your money back, because I'm friends with a fucking gang leader. He'll take care of your ass out in town. You suffer. You go fucking fix it. I don't give a fuck. Sell you a fucking broke car with a smile on his face. A fucking smile. Well, that's the same thing as just getting punched out. There you go, fucker. Hope you break your back changing the fucking motor out on that car. I hope it falls on you and the jack gives out. You know? Well, that's what happens when someone uses rules in a dark, sinister way. Rules, it's just like a gun. Nothing wrong with a gun, nothing wrong with weapons, nothing wrong. Cats have automatic weapons, claws and teeth. Shall we go around declaw all the fucking cats and all the fucking teeth? And so you hear someone saying on the dark side, yes, we need to do that. We need to remove all the cat's teeth and all their claws. We need to remove all the guns, all the knives. Oh, well, let's cut off everybody's hands too, because everyone's starting to learn martial arts. That can be considered a weapon too. So that we got nothing but fucking mats around here. Quadra-fucking-plegics, a fucking mat, so we can step all over. They'll do everything we're told. We'll hook them up to a computer, suck all the energy out, and they'll be in a fucking wheel fucking chair all fucking day, fucking spinning the thing around with their fucking mouthpiece. And we'll be happy with that. Yeah, that little bully guy, just looking forward to that day. Can't wait for it to happen. Yeah? Everything, everything that can be considered a weapon, which is also crying out in an audit, that's called to weep or to cry. To cry out, weep, a weepon. Like a little pawn. You got kings, bishops, and the guys at the bottom of the pyramid are called pawns. A weepon, to weepin, a weeper, a sweeper. You can't cry anymore, child. And that's exactly what happened to all the children. They got smacked around if they dared start to cry. Because the bully wants soldiers, warrior babies that don't cry. They're good. Crying isn't allowed. It's supposed to be tough, macho children. You ain't allowed to cry. You ain't supposed to, all that shit. All that unnatural stuff. It's all about control. It's all about writing a rule, but nothing wrong with the rule. But then forcing the rule on someone, and if they don't do it, it's going to be fucking punishment. And the greatest book, or the greatest interpretation, the greatest story is the modern Jesus story, the dominant religion across the planet. It implements that particular philosophy. Look at it. Look at it for what it is. The Lord God Almighty says, do this or I shall punish thee. And what's the punishment? Hell. Go to your room. You're grounded. Don't come out till I tell you. In fact, hell is a place where Jesus said, the modern Jesus. It's the old astrology Jesus interpretation is totally fucking different. It's got nothing to do with any of that shit. None of it. Although there's some good stuff to learn from the shit side. But anyway, when God or Jesus sends someone to hell or to their room, you're grounded, he says, you ain't ever fucking coming out. That's it. You can go there and stay there for fucking ever. And get ready for the torture chamber personnel, because they're coming. They'll set your ass on fucking fire and torture your ass every fucking last fucking living dead day that you're down there. Because it's always down there somewhere, right? Hell is always down below. Heaven is always up above. Like someone up above, someone other slave, kicking them, kick them, step all over them, whip them. I said, pick that shit up there. Shine my fucking shoe, dickhead. Although in today's society, it's all covered over with cake and ice cream icing to make it taste good and look good with this thing called service and civil behavior. But behind all that front bullshit, fucking fake acting bullshit, is the most hideous shit going on behind it all. Silent weapons for quiet wars. Hartford Van Dyke wrote a fucking free PDF on Google. Anyway, it's been 20 minutes. Got to hook this smartphone back up to the battery for another charge. Another charge for battery. You're being charged for battery. You get it? Look out! Remember, NESARA. Go scope it out on YouTube. NESARA. NESARI. It's the National Exchange Securities Recovery something and Recovery Act. Restoration and Recovery Act. ARA. NESARA. Later.